Movement is really, really important. I can't stress enough how important it's become for me. And I could see how not moving was affecting me, not physically, but also mentally when I had my accident. My name is Ana. I'm from southern Spain, a town called Cordoba. I've been living in London for about 4 to 5 years now. Movement as a therapy has been present in my life for 3 months, I think. I had a very, very good childhood. I was a very active kid. I was swimming a lot in summer. I learned to play tennis. I would always be on my bike or my rollerblades, running, climbing trees. When I became a little bit older, I joined the basketball team, but it was a mixed team. It was mixed because of me, because the rest of the team was all male. I was just the only female. And I stopped doing sports for a long time. It wasn't until I was about 24 years old that I started practicing yoga every day. I remember I couldn't even touch my toes, but I could already feel the benefits, and it was exciting. Sort of like that sportsy bug bit me, and all of a sudden, I was like this person who just couldn't stand still. I started cycling everywhere. And then I joined the gym because I saw the benefits of strength training. I started doing jiu-jitsu as well because I thought that looked really cool. And then swimming, basketball, skateboarding, and I started going climbing. I like competing against myself and trying to do one more or like see if I can go faster. You don't realize how amazing the body is and how much it can achieve until it actually does it in front of you. And I was really happy. I was really happy with my physical health, And then that's when one terrible Sunday, the 20th of June, that I had my accident. And then that's when everything stopped. What I loved about climbing is that you have to solve a puzzle in your mind, and you have to use your body to see if that puzzle that you solved in your mind works. And I remember that day, it was almost time for us to leave. But we kept trying to climb this path, and it was a really high one. I couldn't do it. My friend couldn't do it. Someone else came, figured it out, and did it, and taught us how to do it. My friend did it, and she was like, "You try it now." And I'm like, I don't know if I should. And, looking back, it reminds me of Simone Biles during the Olympics when she dropped off one of the exercises because she didn't feel confident. And later on, she said that she feared that because her mind wasn't in the right place, she could have hurt herself. And now I think about it, I'm like, I should have done that. But I didn't. It was a mix of me wanting to prove myself that I could do it, try it, but also pressure, peer pressure kind of thing. There were a lot of people there. They were like, yeah, you can do it, you can do it. I did it. I climbed to the top. It was on my way down that I fell while rotating. So when I landed on my right foot, which twisted to the side. And then I fell forward. I pulled my hands out to stop the fall. And then my left elbow went out. And I looked up to my friend. I was like, Marta, my elbow, because I had heard the crack. Later on, we learned that I had completely teared 2 of the ligaments on my ankle and dislocated my elbow. And for many months, I couldn't move at all, at least at the beginning. I felt like I was a completely different person. I felt how much of my life was invested in sports and exercise. I felt like I lost who I was. I think mentally that injury caused me more damage than physically. I've developed a fear of falling. I didn't feel confident. I didn't think my body could catch me. I remember having a lot of flashbacks about the fall. I think there was a football league during summer, and I remember watching it with my flatmates. I got a lot of anxiety from seeing the players fall, and I realized I had a problem. I realized I didn't have to just try to get my body back to where it was physically, but I also had to do something with my mind. I knew I needed help, and so that's when I reached out to Sam. So Sam is a movement coach working with somatic movement, and I knew through somatic movement, he could help me regain that confidence in my body. At the beginning, when I just started with Sam, the practice was more around getting comfortable with my own body. You know, when I used to go to the physiotherapist, the exercises that we would do were very ankle specific. It's almost as if, you're in a pool and you just put in your feet, the water's just touching your feet. But somatic movement, it's about dancing in the rain. So you're getting completely wet. It was the whole body, not focusing very much on ankles or jumping or anything like that. It was more a very wholesome type of movement that we were doing. There was one exercise where you just have to move freely around the room. And I felt a little bit silly because I've just never moved like with really big movements around a room by myself with no music, just feeling how my body feels when I do all of those movements. So that was I was a little bit skeptical about that, how is this gonna work? How is this gonna help me? But then as we progressed and we continued to do similar exercises, like there's one where you have to go from one side of the room to the other and every single part of your body has to touch the floor. So you almost have to roll with it. And that exercise I really enjoyed. And it was almost like I finally understood the reason for this. And it's just to understand a little bit more my body, the mobility, what I'm able to do and what it takes for my body to do that. Then as we progressed, we started incorporating some ankle-focused exercises to start building up some strength, but also to start getting rid of that fear of falling. So there was one exercise which we call the clock, where I have just to raise one of my foot and then pretend that I'm falling forward, right? So pretend that I'm losing my balance and then step forward. Just to understand that I can do it, that my foot will land. And I have to admit that I cried the first time that I did it. It was very triggering. But for example, nowadays, when we do that, I raise my leg very, very high, and then I will step forward. It will be a big step. It's an amazing feeling knowing that my feet will land properly. My body will keep me safe. Right now, at this stage, it's a very early stage, I will only practice the somatic movement with Sam because I'm still very new to it. So I see Sam every week, but then I have my own practice at home because I have my practice. I have the list of exercises that I need to do, and then I'll split that throughout the week depending on how I feel and what I feel like doing. I can move more freely now that I was able to before I started with somatic movement and with Sam. That's for sure. He's giving me back some of the confidence that I was lacking, and I mean, I can jump now. I like to dance, and particularly I like to dance by myself in my room. And I, throughout the years, have found it very empowering. I found the practice of like dancing with my underwear in front of my mirror because first of all, it's just me with myself. And secondly, because when I dance, I smile. It makes me happy. And seeing that reflection on the mirror, seeing myself happy, it's almost as if it doubles up on the feeling of feeling happy. It was always very invigorating, you know? But of course, after the accident, there was no more dancing. And it wasn't until, probably like 2 months in with Sam, I was still very conscious about jumping, about falling. But I think one day I was just listening to some like Latin music and my mirror was there. And I was like, I started moving, started dancing. I got into the song. I forgot about it. I was doing some sort of like salsa steps and then I jumped and then I stopped. I looked at myself on the mirror and I was like, wait, did I just jump? And then this smile, it was like broad smile, ear to ear. And I'm like, no way. I was able to overcome my fear. And it was amazing. Not only being able to dance again, smiling, feeling happy, but also the realization that I could do it. And I know that's because of the continuous work that I've been doing with Sam. With an injury and a recovery process as long as mine, I think the small wins are everything because they're there, you already got them. And, if you got those, you can get many more. Whatever comes on, like in the future, I know if I did it once, I can do it again. Having a positive mindset, I think it's one of the most important parts of being physically active. Nowadays, I am almost like not really 100% at peace with my body, because of course I'm still processing and struggling with this injury, or rather the recovery process. So my mind has to carry the weight of that process almost. And definitely my mind is working double shifts here. Having that positive mindset, I think, is paramount to be able to succeed. Experiencing firsthand how detrimental not moving was for my mental and physical health. It's almost as if I want everyone to engage in a certain physical activity. We don't know how lucky we are to have the body that we have. And it's not until you lose that ability that you're like, oh, wow, I took for granted my ability to move. I think I'm halfway through trusting my body again, for sure. If I'm walking down the street and I stumble upon something and I fall, I'm gonna be fine. My body will catch me, my feet will land properly. That's what I've learned with Sam and through somatic movement. My body will do what it's supposed to do.
The Practices was produced by Radio Wolfgang for Light. For more information, visit light.app. This episode featured Ana Maria Cremades. It was produced and sound designed by Natalia Rodriguez, with casting by Cass Denton. The executive producer was Ellie DiMartino.